Welcome to my super easy beginners series in watercolour. I'm going to go through a lovely English landscape summer scene for you now. I have got a round number 10, a round number 6 and a rigger, and this is all I use in my beginners series. And I have got a bit of Bockingford, so this is about 5 by 7 inches, and I've taped this down to a little bit of a board, and a Cotman palette. This is linked in the description. Here's my water pot, you can see everything, so off we go. I'm going to bring in a lovely sky, so with my round number 10 I'm going to bring in some water into the sky. So I want a nice even coat, no puddles, no dull bits. If you get down at eye level you'll be able to see that you want a nice even sheen. I'm going to have a little bit of a slope. Just coming over here. Okay, so with this round number 10, I'm going to come into a couple of blues now. So this first one, dipped into the water, then dipped into this pan directly, is cerulean blue. So this is going to give me that lovely summer sky feel. Now, if I push back down the brush and do circular motion, I'm going to get this lovely soft cloud appearing. It's a really nice effect. And pushing down your brush means you're in control of the paint. The more you push down, when you let go, that's when it all flows out of the well of the brush and out. So you want to push down to stay in control. Give that brush a bit of a rinse, load back up with some clean water, and I'm going to come into a bit of a darker blue now. So I've got ultramarine here. If you haven't got any of these blues, just use the blues you have. It's all about learning with what you've got. So again, I'm doing this lovely circular motion. Got some little wispier bits. I want it to be darker towards the top. Often skies are darker towards the top. Now I want a little bit of a grey, so I tend to mix up my greys. I've got a bit here of ultramarine blue. I want a little bit of water, and then a little bit of burnt sienna. So ultramarine or cobalt blue is a great colour for greys, and it doesn't shoot. Payne's grey is quite shooty. So I'm just going to come in with my round number 6 and just pop in a little bit of grey, because this is a English summer and we do get a little bit of grey cloud. So it's coming nice into the wet, nice and soft, a few little wispy bits. Number 6 puts you much more in control. We've got a lovely sky appearing now. So if I want any hard clouds now, what I can do is take a bit of kitchen towel, scrunch it up, and then I can come in and dab. So you can see how I'm getting that hard edge. It's lifting it out. I'm going to change the bit of kitchen towel so it's clean, and you'll notice as I'm doing this I'm twisting in the air and coming back down. The reason that I do this is because I want a different line every time. I don't want to create a pattern. If you come on and go dab 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 dab, you will create a pattern, and you don't want a pattern. You want it to look nice and natural. So this now I'm getting a combination of hard and soft edges. Hard edges from the kitchen towel, the soft edges from the wet in wet. So it's a really nice combination. Taking a little bit more out there. You don't have to take all of your shadow out and all of the cloud, all of the grey. You can just take little bits. If you want to go littler, you want to go wispy, you can do this. So you can take a little bit and go wispy. You want that nice combination of hard and soft edges. Take a little bit out here. If when you're dabbing nothing is coming off. That means you've let it dry too much. You can try a damp bit of kitchen towel, that sometimes still works. If you find when you dab it runs back, that means that it's too wet still and you just need to wait a second. It's just getting the right consistency. Some of this has now started to dry a little bit, which is absolutely fine because I've basically taken off what I want anyway. Just take a few little more wispy bits here. It's a really, really subtle, nice effect. The combination of the hard and soft edges just works really nicely. It's really easy. Okay, with my round number 6, because it's still just damp enough for me to do this, and take some of the sap green, just put in a couple of trees. So this is it going into the damp, and I can have a little bit of a tree on that horizon. If I don't rinse my brush and come into the burnt umber, I can make that look a bit darker and a bit more natural. So I'm just going to blend that through a little bit. Give some natural shadow at the bottom. It's a good way for you to also get a more natural green. Just going to vary the height of this a little bit. I don't want it to be too uniform. So I'm just varying this up a little bit. That's better. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry now. It's warm to the touch. That's a good way to know that it's dry. And we're going to come into this bottom section now. You see how simple that is to create that. And now we're going to do a similar simple bottom of this, some fields, and it's just going to work really, really effectively. So I'm going to wet this bottom section, decide where you want your field to go. You're coming right the way up to your tree line. And then I'm going to go a different yellow. So I'm going to go lemon yellow because this is the colour that I've got on here and I want it to be a little bit different to the tree colours that we've got. So you could use a bit of the cadmium yellow if you wanted it to be warmer. You could use raw sienna, that would work perfectly as well. I haven't got that in this palette, so I'm using what I've got. It's a lesson of use what you have. It's a nice fresh yellow there. So rinse that off, clean water. And then I'm going to come into some burnt sienna. So I want a bit of a golden glow. So I'm going to have the hill coming down here. So follow the line of the land. I'm just sweeping some bits through. I'm starting to get the undulations, hills. It's starting to appear. I'm going to swap down to my number 6. And then I have got here a very bright colour called Viridium. I'm going to add some burnt umber to that, and that's going to make a really nice natural looking green. It's a good way to use your greens. Then I can start to bring that in. So I'm going to bring this in so it's a darker field. Sweep that through. And I can also sweep and contour with this colour. So I tend to use Saunders Waterford quite a lot, which is a cotton paper. This is actually a wood pulp paper, Bockingford. It's still a nice paper. It's nice and affordable. a little bit more affordable than Saunders, but you have to move a bit quicker. When you're doing smaller though, you can get away with that. And we are doing smaller, so I tend to bring out Bockingford occasionally. So what I'm doing now is just starting to create some undulation, some shadow in the field. And this is by just using, so as the paint is, the sheen's going, if you take more paint on, then it'll get darker. You can also darken what you have. So if I add a bit more burnt umber to that mix, I can make it darker. So I've got my darker green again. Start to bring in some strokes. Nice undulating feel to it. Darken that line at the top. Take a bit of dark under the tree. I quite like that you've got that contrast of the light up there. So if I clean this brush off, Viridian does tend to stick in the brush, so you'll need to clean it a few times. I can pick up a bit more of the burnt sienna, just bring a little bit of that through, just to warm up in places. The more that I do towards the foreground, the more it'll stand forwards. So if I just bring in some few bits here. You just don't want it to be too wet at this stage, so dab off onto your kitchen towel because it is starting to dry. If you take a very wet brush into a nearly dry painting, it spells for disaster. So you've got to keep. I'm going to take a tiny bit of cadmium red just in at this front section as well, just to bring that forward a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. I'm going to come back into that dark green mix and I'm just going to dab on and create a few little trees. So you've got a double layer of trees here basically. Got a few little trees appearing there. And then a soft layer behind. So this is that Viridian and burnt umber mix, and it's just little dabs and it's on to dry, so they're going to be more defined and stand forward against the other ones, and it's giving you a layer behind a layer, and that always works really well. So just dab, nothing too technical, leave little gaps so you get in different trees appearing. See those there. Just take a little bit more of the burnt umber in. I'm going to bring a little tree separate here. So again, just dabbing, leaving a few gaps, just so you're getting a little tree appearing. And then maybe a little one. It's just all about balance really. Just want something a bit more interesting on that horizon. So we'll do a couple of little ones there. And that's holding together now much better. Okay, I'll dry that one off. There we go, that's all finished. So a really simple, pretty and effective scene for you to learn, to start to learn some watercolour technique. So you've got the wetting wet there, you've got the lifting off, you've got the different consistency of paint and how that works, and the application with the brushes, the larger round number 10 and the smaller round number 6. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. I've got loads more beginners videos. I'll pop a link here for another one and a playlist just here. If you're ready to take a next step and want to do some more advanced tutorials, then I have a membership option as well. Thank you.